Hi, I'm Mary Beth Shaw. I'm the owner and founder of StencilGirl Products, and I'm here today with my good friend Seth Apter.
Hey Mary Beth, thanks so much for inviting me.
I'm so glad you're here. I've wanted you to film for our school for a while, and I'm really glad that we've been able to make this happen.
You know, the truth is, it's truly my first online class.
I know, I didn't even realize that.
Yeah.
I just assumed you'd been doing it, and I was trying to think about how we met, and I don't remember. Maybe at an art retreat?
10 years, you remember.
You know what? I think it was at Artist U in Stanford, wasn't it?
Yes, it was at Artist U in Stanford, yeah. It involved a bottle of wine.
Well,
you were there, so.
yeah, I was there. There was probably wine there.
And a long conversation. Yeah, I'd known you online.
And you and me and Pam, we got stuff and we snuck off and journaled after classes.
Yep.
Yeah, I do remember this.
Actually,
it was
the
fun.
whole conversation's coming back now.
Yes.
Yeah, because I had admired you online.
Oh,
you know, through your first book, and just knew your work. But that was the first time we actually met.
And you have been exhibiting a lot in addition to your teaching, which I think is cool, because I used to do that, but I miss doing it. So.
No, it's been really great adding that to the work that I do, because it gives me an opportunity to actually make art.
Right.
Yeah, so, you know, sometimes you get so busy, the busier you are and the further you're along with your teaching career, the less you actually can make art.
It's so true, and I found that with StencilGirl. It's like,
I'll bet.
Between my StencilGirl obligations, my own teaching obligations, there's like no room for that body of work.
Yeah, something's got to give, and ironically, it's making art.
Right, which was what got me into this.
Right, exactly. So
it is very
to
ironic.
me, I feel like I found the magic key, because if I have an exhibit and I paid for a booth and I have to fill it, I am going to make art.
Yes.
And so it gives me almost the right, in a manner of speaking. Like, it gives me permission.
Nothing like a deadline.
Correct. And I work well with a deadline.
So what you're doing with us is what you do so well, which is layering and texture and color on color and subtleties in layering, which I admire because I tend to be more bombastic with things. You're pretty precise in certain ways. Although I have a really intricate part of my process too, and I think we're similar in that way, in that we both try to get our brain out of the way.
That's definitely true.
But
That's
then,
number one.
It is so true. We have to get the brain out of the way in order to be creative. But then you gotta let the brain in at a certain point in time to assess where you are.
Right.
And then maybe to pull it back
It's
together.
I think it's just learning to let go of that inner critic.
Yes.
And so you let your brain come in to make decisions based on the materials you're using and the direction you want to go, but at the same time, not letting your brain interfere with this isn't good enough, or this isn't going in the right direction, or someone else is doing it better than myself, or it's not looking like I thought it would.
Right.
You got to shut that off.
Yes.
You got to shut that off. And that's really what the videos and the workshop's about.
And that's so valuable. And I know our viewers are gonna love that.
I hope so.
Yes.
I hope so. Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. I always, in the past, struggled with my style and being able to identify it. And it's been interesting over the years to see and hear people, maybe some of you out there, who have identified my style almost for me. And you know, and I realized this layered aspect and the dimensional and the textured aspect is really what it is. And you know, it's grungy, but it doesn't always have to be grungy, but it's always layers. And I realized that not only with other people telling me and identifying it, but when I've worked in other areas within art. So when I work in fiber art, or I work in non-traditional art, sort of metal and assemblage, I realized that I can never keep something simple. You know, if I'm going to start with a layer of fabric, it's going to be stitched and it's going to be wrapped and it's going to have embellishment. And it just became so clear to me that it's all about the layers and the texture. Yes. And really, that's what I bring to everything I do. And I definitely brought that to the table for this workshop. You know, sometimes it's spontaneous, but there's a reason behind the spontaneity.
Right.
You know, whether it's too dark and I need to adjust it, whether it needs some more dimension, whether it's too bland. But it's not even thinking, it just happens. Right. And that's actually one of the things I tell my students in live workshops, this idea of everyone's an artist, that I don't think of the word artist as all that special. You know, you have kids, you're a parent, you create something, you're an artist. Sometimes people think it's too highfalutin. You know,
right, or it's like some little sprinkles of magic dust or something, you know, and it's not all that.
It's just creating the work, and I think when you can just let go of everything and just create, you tap into the artistry that you have, and at the end of every class, when everybody is using the same materials and everybody is creating the same project, so to speak, and everyone's looks completely different, it just proves to me how much everybody is an artist.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming to StencilGirl Studio.
Well, I think,
And
thank you for giving me the opportunity. I really do.
anytime. We're happy to have you here.
So that means I'll be back.